Hello, Aries. I would like to welcome you to the first reading ever for this channel, and also wish you guys a happy birthday season. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into how the readings are going to work here. I am going to spend some time while I'm chatting with you right now, just sort of shuffling the cards, giving some insight into the reading itself, some information about me. I know that people enjoy actually seeing the cards being shuffled, which is honestly a little bit against how I typically would do this. So I have been practicing trying to talk during this part before doing the videos, just because typically when I'm doing this specific thing and sort of getting the energy into the cards, it's a little bit more of a quiet moment for me and a bit more of a meditation. So this is going to be a little bit different, but we'll see how it goes. And if I need to make some alterations for the next round of videos just to make sure I'm doing the best possible job for you guys, then I will do that. But let's see how this works. So, in terms of the reading itself, this is going to be a reading focused on love and romance. It's really where I prefer to do readings, and I think it's where most people who seek out guidance, they're typically looking for information around relationships in their life. Now, I do say love and romance because those things are a little bit different for me. So, say you're having an issue with a sibling or a friend, you can find information here. You can also translate what comes out in this reading. If it's not really clearly specific to a romantic connection, which I'll always state if I think that it is. But you can look at it for a partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, things like that. I am going to be using several different decks today, and when I'm actually utilizing those decks during the reading, I'll put information up actually on the video about the name of the deck, and I'll include links out to where you can purchase them if they're still available for purchase in the description. Also in the description will be links to my Facebook page as well as my Patreon page. I will be offering extended readings for each of the readings that I'm putting up right now. So I'll be doing readings for each of the signs for April 1st through the 15th of 2019. And after the initial reading, which will be posted here on YouTube, I'll go a little bit more in depth on that reading and post that extended half of the reading on Patreon. And there are several different tiers for those of you who might be interested in joining me on Patreon. And you can find the link to my Patreon page again in the description, as well as on that page there's all the information about the different tiers and what's included with each of those. At this point in time, I'm not doing personal readings. I might start those up either mid-month or starting on the 1st of May. I just need to get an idea of the time requirement for what I want to do with YouTube and Patreon, and see what's actually possible in terms of spare time to do readings that are personal readings. So if I do decide to do those, I will let you guys know. So we are getting to the point with the cards where I feel like they're good. I will, of course, shuffle them more as I'm actually going through the card decks. So, you know, they'll get a little bit more focus and shuffling, but I feel like they're good. So we will actually get started. If you guys do not want to see this part of this, which is really just sort of this pre-shuffle where, you know, I'm just spending times with the cards, just let me know in the comments below that you really don't care to see those, and I'll take them out. So this deck is a deck that I really love. These are not the specific cards that I've had for this long, but this deck I've used for, gosh, almost 20 years now. The first set of cards of this deck that I got, I was a freshman in college. So it's been quite a while with these cards. What's interesting about this deck is you can actually use it as a true tarot deck. They do have cards that correspond to each of the major and minor cards within a tarot deck in here. Plus there's one additional card that would go into the major arcana within this deck. I don't use this deck very much anymore for actual just as tarot cards. I use them much more as oracle cards. So what I'm going to do for you is, in just a moment, I'm going to let a couple of these cards come out, and these will be the opening guidance for you. Aries, April 1st through the 15th of 2019. General guidance for Aries, April 1st through the 15th, 2019. I like these cards because they actually come with a book, and if you ever do order these cards, I recommend definitely keep the book. The way that the stories are written about the cards I love, and so for each of the cards that does come out for you, I'll actually read you directly from the book, just because I love the stories, and I think that it's good just to set the tone of the reading through that way. Okay, let's see what comes out here, guys. On these cards, I don't read reversals, mostly because the oracle, and I'm not looking for anything that is it's going to be straightforward. The stories in the books aren't based on upright or reverse. It's just the card itself. Okay. So you guys had 4 cards that came out here. What I will do, just so you know, is at the end of the reading, this will actually be what's included in the extended. But for the extended, after the reading is done, I do go back at the end. I put these cards back into this deck, and I shuffle again to get guidance cards at the end for you in terms of how to go along. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a neighbor's fire alarm is going off. So hopefully that's not too distracting. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just going to find the actual card in the book here and just read you the story with the card. And I'm going to try to do that fairly quickly. And if you guys want, I can give you a little bit of information. So this card, see if you can see it here. I don't know if it's focusing on it or not, but this is the healing card. This is equivalent in the tarot deck to what would be the King of Cups. This would be the same sort of energy here. But so from the book for healing, it says, "No, you carry your wound. With the ego, your whole being is a wound, and you carry it around. Nobody is interested in hurting you. Nobody is positively waiting to hurt you. Everyone is engaged in safeguarding his own wound. Who has got the energy? But still it happens because you are so ready to be wounded, so ready, just waiting on the brink for anything." This is really interesting to me, and I just want to pause here because I do feel like this card is really sending off a lot of energy. I feel like for a lot of the Aries who are going to resonate with this reading, I do feel like you have gotten a bit into the mindset that you really can't trust anyone, that everyone has a bit of an ulterior motive, that you have to be on guard with everyone. And the intensity that's coming from this, I do mean everyone. It's like there's no one in your life that you really truly trust. And I feel like the opening of this story is just really important to you guys because I do think that there are some people potentially on this planet who they really do set out trying to hurt people. But I also think that what's behind most of that, when people are actively trying to hurt people, it's sort of like that saying that hurt people hurt. It's um, when people are consumed with so much pain, when they're overwhelmed with that much pain, they don't want to feel alone in it. And when they're not able to actually just open up and speak freely about the pain that they're in and share that with someone, what happens is they decide they want to cause pain in other people. So they feel like they have people who at least understand how much they hurt. And I feel like you are seeing everyone through that filter. And we'll probably have more come out in terms of why you're in that headspace, but I am just getting a lot off of this card. So the last part here to the story is be aware of your wound, don't let it grow, let it be healed, and it will be healed only when you move to the roots. The less the head, the more the wound will heal. With no head, there is no wound. Live a headless life. Move as a total being and accept things. Just for 24 hours, try it. Total acceptance, whatever happens. Someone insults you, accept it. Don't react and see what happens. Suddenly you will feel an energy flowing in you that you have not felt before. So I do encourage you, Aries, to give that a shot. Try for 24 hours. Whatever happens, just let it happen. Just accept it, move on. Don't react to it. Don't let yourself get stressed. Don't let other people put their stuff on you. And also don't put your stuff onto other people. If you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling unsupported, if you're feeling like you don't have people in your life right now that you can trust and depend on, then it's up to you to make changes and to let those people go, or to confront them and let them know how you're feeling and give them a chance to be better. But again, it always comes down to personal responsibility. And I feel like for a lot of you right now, it does feel almost like you're sort of projecting outward, which this card here at the end is also sort of speaking to that. So just pay attention to the stories that you're telling yourself about the people who are in your life and, what they're bringing into your world. So the next card that you got, again, I'm sorry if these cards are not going to focus, guys. It's hard for me to tell because of how I have the camera positioned, but at the very least, you can at least get an indication of how the card looks. So this card is called Abundance. This would be equal to the King of Pentacles in the tarot deck. And so the story for this one, in the East, people have condemned the body, condemned matter, called matter illusory. It does not really exist. It only appears to exist. It is made of the same stuff as dreams are made of. They denied the world, and that is the reason for the East remaining poor, sick, and starvation. So again, I didn't write this. This is based on Zen teaching. So some of this might not sound very politically correct in today's world, so don't jump on me in the comments. If you want to complain, go to the people who wrote this. But this part, though, half of humanity has been accepting the inner world but denying the outer world. The other half of humanity has been accepting the material world and denying the inner world. Both are half, and no man who is half can be contented. You have to be whole, rich in the body, rich in science, rich in meditation, rich in consciousness. Only a whole person is a holy person. So this abundance is really talking about making sure that your life is well-rounded, that you're not becoming so fixated on money that you are forgetting about the simpler things in life that are not material. Also, not checking out so much from the world that you are neglecting things that are actual responsibilities for you to be able to take care of yourself or to take care of others that are in your life that depend upon you. So this is really just saying that in order for you to be happy and be content in this world, you have to give it your all, and you have to give it your all in all areas, which is something that can be intimidating and kind of hard because this world as it is today is so fast and it's so crazy that being able to feel like you have time to do everything can be a little bit daunting for sure. The next card that came out is called Totality. This would be equivalent to the Five of Wands in your typical tarot deck. And the story for this one, I'll show you the card. You guys are the first reading, and I'm going to have to go back and see if the camera is actually managing to focus on these or not. If they are not, I'm sorry. We will work that out the next round. So for totality, it says every moment there's a possibility to be total. And again, this is very much connected to the abundance card. Whatsoever you are doing, be absorbed in it so utterly that the mind thinks nothing. It is just there. It is a presence. And more totality will be coming. And the taste of totality will make you more and more capable of being total. And try to see when you are not total. Those are the moments which have to be dropped slowly. When you are not total, whenever you are in the head, thinking, brooding, calculating, cunning, clever, you are not total. Slowly slip out of these moments. It's just an old habit. Habits die hard, but they die certainly if one persists. Okay. So, again, as I started this, saying, from the healing card, I was feeling this ton of energy coming off of that. I do feel like for a lot of you Aries, you're entering into this time of the year with a lot on your minds, really in your head about things. And it's interesting because wrapping up with these, initial cards coming out to talk about what is going on here, we have the Beyond Illusion card. Let me just get to this because I do want to read you guys on this. So here's the card. I don't think this is focusing, so I apologize for that. So, this is the only distinction between the dream and the real. Reality allows you to doubt, and the dream does not allow you to doubt. The capacity to doubt is one of the greatest blessings to humanity. The religions have been enemies because they have been cutting the very roots of doubt, and there is a reason why they have been doing that, because they want people to believe in certain illusions that they have been preaching. Don't misunderstand because of the word illusion. It has been translated as illusion, but illusion is not the right word. Illusion does not exist. Reality exists. As far as day-to-day activities are concerned, it can be taken as reality. Only in the ultimate sense, from the peak of your illumination, it becomes unreal. So, this is really, again, talking about this notion of being able to separate out what is real, what's really going on, what's actually happening in your life, from the concerns and the fear you have in your head. So, we'll get into the actual reading now and take a look and see what comes out. But based on just that initial bit of information, it really does feel like if this reading is going to be a reading that's going to resonate with you, most likely you are really finding yourself in your head about a lot of things, and you're really feeling that you don't have a lot of people in your life, if even you feel like you have any people in your life at this point who you can really depend on and that you can trust. So let's take a look here, starting with this deck. And again, I'll put information up about this deck for you guys and also include a link. I really do enjoy this deck a lot. I love the actual illustrations, so I'm hoping that you guys can at least see them partially. I think I'm just going to skip putting the card up because I don't think that it's focusing, and I think that's going to be more annoying for you guys than it's going to be helpful. Do 2 more shuffles. One. And 2. Okay. So let's check out the bottom of the deck here. So we have the Page of Wands. That's going to be the overall energy for this reading. It is upright. So this is interesting in terms of like an overall energy. Page of Wands is really, I sort of look at this card as being the free spirit card. This person, or the energy, or if you are talking about a person, if you were describing it as a person, this person just believes that, the potential is unlimited, and they're someone who is full of ideas and is constantly being inspired by things. And this is interesting to me mostly because of the cards that came out in terms of using the earlier oracle cards. This might be an indication, and again, the cards will reveal more, but just initially for me, I feel like this is really guidance for you in terms of how to begin shifting out of that energy. Is to remember more of that free spirit energy that is, in a way, Aries can be a very fiery and passionate sign, but a lot of that, in terms of the intensity with which Aries will love and care for people and really not be concerned at all about sort of the risk associated with that, or the potential judgment that can sometimes come with that intensity and that passion, including when they're angry and how passionate you guys will express yourselves in those moments. That's sort of that free spirit energy that I'm picking up here. It's almost like what I'm getting is, I feel like you guys are holding back. I feel like for whatever reason, you guys are not being true to your feelings and emotions. And I feel that if you did just have one of those big explosive moments where you say how you're feeling and what you're scared of and what the fears are, I feel like so many people in your life would be shocked that that's where you are, that that's where you're existing with them. And they would really want to be able to clarify for you exactly how much they do care and how much you do matter. But I sense that you've been stifling yourself and trying to control yourself and keep yourself in check. So let's see what we can get on this. Okay. So the first card out is the Sun card upright. Again, this card is good. This card is, it's the happiest card in the deck. It's totally good energy. It's celebration and joy and success. It's such a positive card. Again, this is something that is, I think, trying to highlight to you the realities of your life. The reality of your life and the situation, especially for the first half of this month, is that things are good. There is actually a lot to celebrate, and you should really be focusing on joy and pleasure during this time. Now, I think that you are not currently in this energetic space. I think that you are very much in your head, and you are overthinking a lot, and you are allowing the fears that are in your mind to cloud being able to see how your life really truly is. Now, the second card that came out is the Ace of Wands upright. And this card is really a card about new opportunities, new potential. There's lots around this card in terms of, it can also point to being really inspired by something or having an idea that you are really passionate about. But it's something that is a new beginning, a new opportunity that is coming in. The Ace of Wands is also something that this comes in fairly quickly, especially with the Page of Wands being this overall energy. There is a lot of fire energy here, and that's good for you because it's where you reside and it's how you work. And I think that, again, this is just really pointing to you to not hold yourself back and not filter yourself and not try to like what I'm hearing in my head is sort of water yourself down, to dilute yourself, that you really do have to accept how you are and to really allow yourself to express yourself fully and in the way that feels most honest and sincere. So the last card here that came out is the Five of Swords. It is upright. Now, this is a little bit interesting for me because what I'm really getting from this card is that you really need to just take a moment. You need a break. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm not sure what it was that got you so into your head. Let's see if we can maybe get some information about that, because I feel like whatever it was, whatever got you so into your head about things and has made you decide that you can't really express yourself the way that you want to and in a way that feels natural, it's blocking you from a lot of potential good coming up the first half of this month. So I definitely want to see what... Okay. So we have Strength coming out upright. Again, this is just really about being courageous and knowing that whatever it is coming towards you, whatever it is you're dealing with, you're capable. It's also a card that for me encourages people to approach things with compassion, to be inwardly strong. And again, this going back to those original oracle cards, realizing that when you internally are allowing yourself to be consumed by fears and worry, you are not existing inwardly from a place of strength. It's a place of fear. The next card that came out was the Page of Pentacles. It's also upright. Now, this page is really about, again, it's a financial opportunity. This can be about manifesting something that you have been desiring or wanting at the actual beginning of manifesting that into reality. This can also be about developing skills, further developing skills. And so if any of that is sitting with you in terms of something that's happening or something that you are desiring, again, coming out with the Strength card, it's just an indication, especially with the Sun being at the front part of this reading, that if that's something that you want to do, and again, you have the Ace of Wands, which is this new opportunity. So if a new opportunity, especially around your career or finances or anything that's related to potentially going back to school or having the ability to develop your skills to a new level, that will absolutely be supported, and it's something that you should pursue. So the last card here for clarification, we have Justice upright. So for me, I feel like this Justice card is really, I don't sense any sort of like actual connection to like the legal aspects that this card can sometimes represent. What I feel from this card is that it is really much more about, again, like going back to this notion of the truth and being aware of the reality of your life and the reality of the people who are within it. It could be that there are people in your life that should not be there, people that you need to cut out, people that need to be removed. Okay, sorry about that, guys. The camera actually just freaked out for some reason, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of stitching to this video. I just want to give you guys the explanation about that. I did go and look to see where it cut off, and I did sort of finish talking about this the Justice card. I was saying that I'm not seeing a lot of cards actually showing up here that are talking specifically about the amount that you're in your head, and so I wanted to just get a couple more cards to come out before we wrap up this specific part of the reading. And again, if you want to get access to the extended version of this reading, then you can go over to my Patreon account, which is linked in the description below, and you can sign up for whichever tier seems the most appropriate for you. Tier 1 will give you access to the YouTube extendeds if that's the only thing that you really want, and those will be uploaded, the extendeds will be uploaded after I get through the YouTube videos and get all of those uploaded. Then I will upload all the extendeds as well. So by the time this video goes live, that extended should also be available for you on Patreon. So as soon as you select your tier, then you will have access to that. So let's see what cards want to come out here. And then we will wrap this part up. And again, on the extended, we will go much more in depth in terms of what's happening. I really do want to, in the extended, get a little bit more insight into what happened that sort of put you into the state that you appear to be in right now. Also do much more in-depth guidance for insight into what might be coming your way during the first half of April. And also, again, we'll end that extended reading with getting more of those, the guidance cards from the deck that I used at the beginning, just to give you some insight into the best way to approach things. Okay. Now, let me just take a look here at the cards that have come out. This card does not want to stay here. Okay. Well, this really is starting, I think, to tell this story. So the first card that came out is the Magician in reverse. This is the Trickster card for me. This is a card that represents betrayal, being stabbed in the back. This is something that is definitely about deception. And the card that came out immediately following that is the Four of Swords in reverse. This is just exhaustion and burnout. It's definitely that energy that I was picking up for you guys at the beginning. This feeling of just, it's a hopeless sort of energy, and is so against sort of the typical passionate, loving energy that I personally associate with Aries. So it feels like there was someone. This Magician card is definitely something we will explore in the extended, because I feel like this Magician card coming out reversed is just a sign that there was absolutely deception and trickery that occurred that put you into this state, this Four of Wands reversed. Now the other card that came out is the Nine of Cups, and it's upright. This is the wish fulfillment card. This is about being really content and satisfied. It can also, for me, this is a card specific to gratitude. It's interesting because the card that came out with this card is the Eight of Cups in reverse, and this is really about, this is another card that we'll have to explore a little bit more in the extended, because I personally read the Eight of Cups in a couple of ways. So one way that I look at it is about an indecision, specific typically to a romantic connection or a relationship. It can also represent sort of walking away and leaving. But the other way that I can interpret this card, depending on, clarifiers that come out around it, it can for me sometimes represent giving something one more shot, or being in a mindset of considering whether or not you should do that. So if this reading to this point has resonated with you, I do want to just give some general guidance here. And again, this is a general reading. It's important to realize that these energies can go either way. So if this does not feel like what you're personally dealing with, this might be the energy that the person who maybe is the most significant or is in your life the most, who takes up the most, you know, energetic room in your life, this might be how they are feeling towards you. But I feel like this is very much the Aries energy. So I don't think that it's necessarily as, you know, a reversed reading like that. But if this is something that is resonating with you and you're not interested in sort of exploring it more in depth in the extended, what I would say is that you really have to figure out how to get out of your head. You have to figure out, you know, this card, this Page of Wands, it's not wanting to stay here. It just keeps slipping and falling. And I feel like you're really struggling to get yourself into this sort of free spirit energy. But I feel like if you can do that, if you can shift yourself into having that energy again and getting out of your head even a little bit, because you're very much just in your head a lot right now. I think if you can do that, then, you know, there is this opportunity that's going to present itself, and anything that comes out of this, if you've managed to get out of your head, it's just going to lead to really good things for the first half of this month. You know, the Sun card coming out is the first lead card here, is just saying that you're supported. You also have Strength coming out upright in this reading. And I just feel like those two cards alone they're indicators that you've got this. But it's a matter of you not being in your own way, you not being in your head, and you not projecting outwardly how you think things are and not being willing to see how they really are. Because if you do that, you're going to miss out on this opportunity. You're not going to see it as being an opportunity, or you're not going to trust it. You're not going to believe that it is supported. So if you guys liked this video, please do take a moment to subscribe to the channel. I would love to be able to give you guys insight regularly. I will do readings for the first half of the month and the second half of the month for each of the signs. The readings are for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if this reading did not quite speak to you, if this is not something that's going on with you, do check out the other reading specific to your Moon, your Venus, or your rising signs. Those might hold additional information for you that might be either further clarifying on this or might be more specific to exactly what you're dealing with. When you subscribe, make sure that you do click the bell notification next to the subscription button. That will let you know. You'll get a little alert when I do upload new videos, and I would love to hear from you guys. So if you liked the reading, please give a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for how to make these readings more entertaining for you, if there's anything that you want to suggest in terms of just things that you might want to know, or things that you just, you know, whether it's praise or constructive criticism, I would love to hear from you guys. And again, this is the first round of videos that I'm doing to put out there. So as I work out the kinks on some of those, then, you know, I'm sure that we will really be able to connect a little bit more smoothly. I would like for you guys to be able to see each of the cards. And so I'm going to figure out with the camera exactly why that's not working. But that's it. Again, if you want to head over to hear the extended version, you can do that now. And if not, then I will see you later in the month for the second half of April 2019. Enjoy whatever is coming your way, Aries, because I do feel like it's going to be here really quickly, and I feel like if you just go with it, if you just trust it, it's going to lead to really good things for you.